Today we're going to talk about the difference between going online, getting on Tinder, getting on Bumble, getting on any of those dating apps out there, and doing cold approach. What's the difference? Which one's better? What's the uses of both of those as well? They have different purposes. They're totally different, and they're very different in many different ways. And we're also going to discuss mate value versus SMV. But before we kick it off, I'm Dave, and this channel is dedicated to giving you no BS, novel dating advice for the modern man. My book's in the description if you want to get to know me through my autobiography. And if you want some one-on-one coaching with me, top link in the description. Let's get into it. So, in one of the groups, this guy who is a very attractive man, he's actually a good-looking guy. He was earlier on in the group questioning whether dating coaches are needed. Well, obviously, because if you're a good-looking guy, you probably don't need a dating coach. And well, your mate value's up here, so you'll be punching down. It'll be easier to get girls. But before we get into that, let's try and talk about online versus cold approach. Now, from my understanding and my experience, I have spent a lot of time out there doing cold approach, not so much online dating. And the reason why I haven't done too much online dating is because I'm living in a first world country and I am not in the top 20% of attractive men in this country. This can be replicated anywhere in the world. Online dating is really the 80-20 principle. What it does is it gives the vast majority of women access to the top 20% of men, and a lot of people call it SMV, sexual marketplace value, but the correct terminology is mate value. I just want to say that the correct scientific term is mate value. Now, I'm not exactly sure where people got the terminology SMV from. I have heard it around everywhere, and I want to be the first person in the community to let you guys know that the correct terminology is mate value. Now, online dating, as I just explained, gives the vast majority of women, even the ones are down here, the 10s are up here, all of them will be starting to, will mainly focus on the top 20% of men. So if you're an 8, 9 and a 10, you should be fine. And this guy who was questioning the legitimacy of dating is online dating, and I'll show you his screenshot of his Tinder in a second. But the vast majority of women will be trying to get those top 20% of men. So if you're a 7, you're a 6, you're a 5, you're out of luck. And a lot of the girls that might be, you know, if they might be 7s or whatever, very few of them are going to want to go down to a 7. If a woman is of mate value a 7, I know this is a real simplistic way to look at it. It is far more complex than that. It's not just a number. It is obviously age, status, obviously, you know, education level, demographics, what country, first world country, third world country. There's a multitude of factors, and it fluctuates depending on the day, and depending on obviously with a woman, a couple years difference can drop her mate value down one notch, and same with the man. One man can sign a good deal, make some money, and a year later spend some time in the gym, boom, he's gone up 1 or 2 notches. So obviously it's constantly in flux. But I'd like to show you guys this guy's Tinder, and as you can see by the look of his Tinder, he has 220 matches, 222 matches. He's living in America, which means that he is obviously in the top 20% with 220 matches. He could be a 9 or even a 10. He is a handsome, good-looking guy. Now, if he is that good-looking and he's getting that many matches, now me personally, I'm probably a 4 or 3 or something like that. I'm 40 years old, I'm not rich, I'm disabled, I'm not jacked, so I've got all these things against me. My mate value is very low, objectively speaking, and so therefore Tinder does not work for me. Bumble does not work for me. If I get a match, they are 2s or 1s. The type of girls that nobody wants, and they will still give me shit tests and argue with me and tell me how awesome they are. So I don't use online dating unless I go to the third world. And that's something that we can get to in a second. So this guy's got 222 matches. That means he's in, by Pareto's law, he's in the top 20% of men. But the fact that he's got so many matches, he's probably in the top 10% or 5% of attractive men in the United States, or in the area that he has chosen to swipe right in. Now, if he's that good looking and he's getting that many matches, there's a very good chance that all of his matches, if just say for instance we'll say he's a 9, he's probably getting girls that have a mate value of 8 if he's lucky, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Now he's probably getting a ton of them. They might be closer to his age. If he's say 25, he might be getting a lot of 24-year-old girls. He might be lucky in getting some 18-year-old girls or 20, 21-year-old girls. The girls mostly will be of his level or mostly lower. Now, if he's getting success, he might think, oh, okay, well, online dating's easy, and not just be in a delusional state and not have any self-awareness as to what his true value is. Now, if he's getting success with girls beneath him, what I'm trying to say is, if we take his experience and copy it to mine, I don't get any matches on Tinder unless they are a 1, 2, or a 3 if I'm lucky. They're probably around my age, and I don't really want to date girls around my age. I want to date girls, if I'm a 4, I want to date girls that are 7s or 8s, right? Which is a little bit delusional for myself, but I consistently get girls that are way above my mate level. Now, my mate value level. And if I am consistently doing that, how am I doing that? I'm doing that through cold approach. I'm doing that by meeting them in the street, cafes, restaurants, bars, nightclubs, obviously. I'm meeting them by approaching and presenting myself by using the sweet art of cold approach. And that's how I am meeting these women. Now, if this guy is getting such good results, being in the top 20 or 5% of men in his region, his radius in the United States, imagine if he used my experience and used cold approach, what type of girls he would have access to. We also need to take into account that there's not that many girls that use Tinder and Bumble. I dare say that a lot of the absolute pinnacle women, if they use Tinder or Bumble, they're only really using it so that they can link their Instagram in there, and they can drive traffic for all the simps to their Instagram so they look more popular amongst their friends. And oh, here's all my minions of simps. Come over here and like my photos and build up my algorithm in Instagram so I look more popular amongst my other girlfriends. That's the real use. So if he thinks he's getting a lot of success, he's really punching down. He's getting girls that are way beneath his mate value, when if he was to learn the sweet art of cold approach, he would be able to get girls above his mate value. Now, this is something that a lot of men suffer from, a lack of self-awareness, where they are so attractive that their attractiveness clouds in their mind the fact that they have zero game, and they're only getting girls beneath their mate value. When this guy reaches 40 or 50, if he gets a bit of a gut and his looks start to decline and his mate value starts to drop down to the 5s or the 4s, he will probably never get laid again. He'll probably have to shack up with a girl and get married with a girl that's a 3 or a 2. If he doesn't learn game now, as his mate value declines, unless he, unless he keeps fit, unless he looks after himself. But the type of guy that's posting his Tinder at this pinnacle right now is the type of, and especially in a pickup or dating group, this is a guy also chasing validation from other men. There's a lot of warning signs as to where this guy's future will lead. And this is also a cautionary tale for a lot of you guys out there. If you're a good looking guy and you're getting a lot of matches on Tinder, it's only really a short-term thing, and you might find yourself in a lot of trouble in the next 10 years if you don't get married right now and marry, if you're an 8, if you don't marry yourself a 6 or a 7 like what you're getting on Tinder. And you don't learn the sweet art of cold approach, you will probably start to decline, and all those girls will start to disappear. Next year will be 100 girls you match with, you know, it'll go down to 50 or whatever. All of the Tinder hacks, they're only short-term hacks. They're not really going to get you too far. And I learned that the hard way, because when I was younger, I wasn't too bad looking myself, and I'll make a video about that very soon, where I actually was quite attractive, and I was getting a lot of success, but the girls were coming to me. So if I had Tinder when I was younger, I would have had a lot of matches. I had a 6-pack, I could bench 100 kilos, you know, I was doing a lot of sports and things like that. But if you had have went to me for advice when I was young and stupid and getting a lot of attention, my advice would have been ridiculous, because I didn't have any experience. I didn't know what I was talking about. And as I got older, I learned more. My experience got me to where I am today, and I've learned the sweet art of cold approach, and now I'm teaching it. And that only comes with experience and putting thousands, maybe, I don't know, 50,000 hours out there meeting and attracting women above my mate value. Mate value is everything. Men, you need to know your mate value. Tinder will tell you to some extent where your mate value is, and if you're getting a lot of matches, that's a warning sign. If you are not meeting girls in the street, if you're not meeting girls in the clubs, if you're not meeting them in restaurants and bars and nightclubs, etc., that means that if you learnt cold approach and met these girls, you'll be able to get the 10s that are only using online dating to build up their Instagram. And that's it. That's really the crux of the issue. And don't post, oh, I've got 200 million matches on Tinder, and make out that you're some sort of a player. No, you're just a pretty boy that's getting a lot of matches on Tinder. That doesn't mean you have any game. In fact, it's the reverse. You have zero game, because game is meeting girls above your mate value. And for you guys out there that have met girls that are above your mate value on Tinder, it's very rare, and if you think that you have, I would still challenge that. You probably are not aware of how valuable you truly are, because there's a lot of women out there only shoot up. They look for guys above their mate value, and they're very good at doing it. And men, on the flip side, are very good at punching down, and they have no idea that they're doing it. And that's the delusion that's out there, and that's what I'm trying to change with my small pool of clients out there. I want to change a small pool of clients' lives forever. I obviously don't want this to go mainstream, because we don't want every pretty boy out there competing, because then real life will become Tinder, and we don't want that. So if you like this video, click the subscribe button, and I top link in the description if you want some one-on-one coaching, or run some boot camps with me. I just fumbled my words all over the place. I think that's a good time to end. I'll see you guys in the next video.